Okay, so here is my first attempt. Um, I cut that I don't know, tile. Yeah, it's just interlocking pieces of um wallpaper, and what I did is I glued two heavy pieces of paper together, just to make them. Cardboard probably would have been a better choice, but I didn't have anything the right size. But I took these two heavy pieces of paper and I glued those together. And it wasn't the best job. It wasn't the best glue job, but it worked. And then I glued or peeled this sticker off and put it on that paper as carefully as I could. Then, after that was all set, I flipped the paper. Actually, no. At that point, I cut the edges. I cut around the edges here to get it off the paper. Then I flipped it over, right? Now, the page, now understand that this is what I ended up with, but this is what I started with, right? It was on this piece. Now, this is all one thing, including the black parts, right? This is all the same material. You're just peeling off some of it that's been pre-cut. So this stuff is the same thing, and I was able to test a lot of what I was thinking on all of this. All of this is the same material as this stuff. Now, if you flip it over, as I've said, and you got to look pretty closely, you can see the indentations, right? Now, when you peel this stuff up, the paper that's underneath has got a plastic coating that nothing wants to stick to, right? Including, that's how you can get these up, right? It holds on, but you can peel stuff away. Stuff just comes right off. So I took that and I put it on the back of this, and that looks like. Let me get rid of that. That looks like this. Now, obviously, this is ugly, right? It was complicated getting this in, and you can see there's wrinkles and stuff, and that's because the paper underneath wasn't especially smooth. So what we end up with is something that's really rough and homemade looking, not pristine and beautiful like this, right? It's homemade looking. Well, it should be, because it is homemade, right? I the paper underneath this thing is exactly like this, right? But I need to flip it over because, remember, it's plastic coated on one side, and that plastic coating can't be glued, at least not with the kind of glue I'm using. And the other side is paper, so you have to flip it around and put it on there. So it's actually the opposite of this side, okay? So I had to cut off these pieces here to from this side and put them over on this side, and then it all fit. Then it all fit, right? So, like I say, I use these for science fiction. I have a science fiction game, and these are for when you're in this beautiful, pristine yacht, right? This space yacht that something goes wrong in, and you have to put your figurines down, right? And maybe this is that old rust bucket. You can throw it down, and the mere fact that it looks crappy kind of helps sell when you say, yeah, this probably this is probably nice once, but it's seen better days. That's all really cool. Now, this being wallpaper effectively that's supposed to be in and around the kitchen is actually semi-waterproof, right? I wouldn't call it waterproof. If you let's put it this way: if you spill a few drops of water or soda or coffee or something on here, you can wipe it up and there won't be any problem. But these parts, that's paper, right? That is all paper. Now, I could probably seal that with something by hand with a brush or something. And then it would be pretty much waterproof. But yeah, it's spill proof. Let's put it this way: it's more or less spill proof. Just try not to spill it on the sides, right? Um, but that also means that we have one really big advantage with this. Here's a dry marker, right? And with the dry marker, I can then erase, right? I can then erase everything. But wait, there's more. The same is true for this side, okay? So, dry marker, and we erase. See, comes right off. And it feels a little weird, feels a little strange, and yeah, I'm doing this with one hand, so yeah, there's some ghosting there because I didn't get it really well done. But you get the idea. I'm just putting the cap on. You get the idea. This is viable. This is a viable placemat, you know. I can just do that. It's gone. Thank you. You never existed. You were never here. So this is a viable game. You know, game plate that I can just throw down. It's flexible. It's, you know, somewhat waterproof at least. You know, I could spill a little bit on there and I wouldn't be crying. And I have two sides. They don't look alike, right? So you have two locations where you were fighting and or having some other interaction. You know, you have it here and you have the second one here, right? And this looks a little rough. This looks a little grungy, a little homemade, right? It works. It would work just fine. And that started with this that I picked up at Dollar Tree. So, as I progress in this, I'll upload more. So I'll talk to you later.